Hey everyone, welcome to my video, and this is a review of Avatar The Last Airbender, The Search, which is the second book in this series. This came right after The Promise, which was the first book of this series, and I reviewed that in my previous Avatar video, so check it out if you haven't already. So I'm going to do a quick review and a couple of spoilers at the end, but I'll give warning just in case you haven't read it. But first thing I've got to say about this is you have to read this if you're a fan of The Last Airbender. You have to. There's no way around it. This is such a good book. So there, that's the first thing I've got to say. So basically the story is around the crew get together again for an adventure on a quest to find out what happened to Azula and Zuko's mother, which was an unanswered question in the series, in the animated series. And yeah, Azula joins them, which you would know already on the cover, so I don't think I'm spoiling too much there. So this book, it transitions quite seamlessly and nicely between the past and the present. So Aang and the gang are going on this quest, and throughout the book you're actually going back to the past and learning about Zuko's mother and Lord Ozai as well. And I gotta say, Lord Ozai, he's a jerk. Yeah, you learn more about it, but it's pretty cool because you get to go back into his backstory as well and all of that sort of thing. You learn a bit more about him, but it won't change your opinion of him though. He was never a good guy. And like I said, Azula joins the group, and yeah, she's still very unstable, messing things up throughout the story. The art and the writing in this is really good. And I had some really big laugh out loud moments throughout the book, especially with Aang, just some of the comments he would say, which is just typical of what Aang would say in certain situations. And one thing that I like more in this book that I didn't really like at all in The Promise was there's a lot less of Aang and Katara being all mushy and lovey-dovey and all that. There's nothing wrong with that sort of thing, but I just didn't really like it in The Promise, and it's touched on a little bit here, but there's far less of it, like maybe twice it happens, and it's fine. And just on a side note, if you are going to buy this book, I recommend getting the Omnibus instead of the three separate books, because in this there's some notes from the original creators and the writer and the artist throughout the thing, and it's really cool because there's little subtle things that they'll tell you, something that you would just sort of glaze over, like, you know, this was a Hawaiian dish that they're eating right now, and just little things like that. I think it's really cool. And they also go into some characters that they found really difficult to create and talk in depth about that. So just knowing some of the process behind this story, it's really cool, and you only get that in the Omnibus. But not only that, if you're buying the hardcover like this one, it just looks so much better on the shelf. So overall, this was an amazing book, and it does answer one of the biggest questions from the animated series. So that's that. And now I'm just going to go into a couple of spoilers, so if you haven't read the book, maybe leave and I'll see you in the next video hopefully, or else you can stick around and just listen to what I have to say. So I'll just start with a couple of things I think could have been a little bit better. Was Azula just kept screwing things up, and Zuko just was like, oh, she's my sister, I have to give her a chance and all that sort of stuff, which is fine. But once she screwed up the first time, just tie her up. Like, they knew where they were going and what they were going to be doing. Like, she can still come along. You don't have to keep untying her and letting her screw it all up again. So that was one thing that was getting a little bit annoying throughout the book. And it happens right until the end as well. And the second thing, my little bit of criticism, was the ending where Ursa got her memories back and her identity back. It just seemed really sudden and convenient. I think they could have fleshed that out a little bit more. I don't know. There's probably nothing left to say in the story, so that's why they just did it. And they probably already knew how that was going to finish. For me, when I was reading it, was just like, bam, all right, she's got her memories back, and then the story's over. But my favourite moments were the interactions throughout the whole book were really good. Like I said before, the laugh out loud moments, were just really nice, and the banter between the characters was really cool. Like Sokka and Katara and Sokka and Azula was very funny. So yeah, the banter and the interactions throughout the book was just overall one of my favourite parts of it. The giant wolf spirit and the Mother of Faces were just so epic, and the link to Ko the Face Stealer was such a good callback. I thought that was really nice, and I hope they do more of that, where they call back to certain characters from the series, and that was very unexpected. And then at the end of the book, when Zuko asks his mother, he wants to know everything, and she starts telling him the story, and you realise that she's been telling the story throughout the whole book of the past. That was a really cool moment, I thought. So yeah, I don't score the books or anything. You know, I'm not a good reviewer, I don't think. So I just tell my impressions and what I liked and what I didn't like, and whether I recommend it. And I definitely recommend The Search. Pick it up. If you're a big fan of The Last Airbender, you won't be disappointed with this. Not at all. So in the next video, I'll be reviewing The Rift. I don't have the omnibus version of this, so it'll just be these 3 separate books. And so this is, from what I remember, Toph and Aang have a bit of a scuffle. I'm gonna crack down and start reading these. And these books, by the way, are so easy to read. I just flew through The Search like it was nothing. Yeah, I'm really enjoying these. So yeah, hopefully if you enjoyed that, I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe to my channel and you'll be able to keep up with what I post. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.